those who just joined us, we're the Jollies, Happily Married Monday with the Jollies, authors of the book Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. I'm Dr. Willie Jolley. This is my beautiful bride.
I'm Dee Taylor-Jolley. The topic for tonight is our goals are different. Now what?
All right, yeah, our goals are different.
Your goals, my goals, couples' goals. So couples have goals.
Yeah, but only one person.
They might not be necessarily stated or written down clearly, but sometimes they're assumptions. And so you kind of march forward, or one is ahead and kind of drags the other.
Well, how about if one doesn't agree? One didn't buy into it. One didn't have any say in it. And the goal was set. All right, the goal has been set.
Requires a conversation.
Or like a new car.
A series of conversations.
Somebody bought a new car without talking to the other one. That happens all the time.
It happened, but then they talked about it.
They did. We're going to talk about it. But then it happens all. Or somebody decided where we going on vacation. And the other person said, I didn't have no say in it.
Well, that's a lack of communication.
Or somebody said, I want to get a place in Florida.
Like somebody I know. And somebody else hadn't agreed to it. Again, that's a conversation. A series of conversations. A budget.
Oh, thank you for coming back, French. Thank you, Tasha. She says your lipstick looks good.
Thank you.
It's because she put on a color. How many of y'all ever seen her with a color? Cheryl! She got on a color. I can't believe it.
This is the new me. Flowering. I'm coming out of my black face. I love black. 95% of my wardrobe is black.
95. She said I can always get a little black dress or a little black suit.
I got a little black dress, a little jumpsuit, the whole bit. I don't ever have to wear, and I don't need to buy anything else again in life. But now that I need a little bit of color.
Because we're on television. We're on television.
I have to have a little bit of color.
And she looks good. She got red on, she got red lips, and gray hair. I never know. Silver. I never know on any given day what her hair is going to be. Now the color's going to be, what style is going to be.
It keeps the relationship interesting.
It's different every day.
Can we get back to
all right, let's go back. So we're talking about, now let's talk, let me set this up with that it's about couples communicating and the decision that must be made between the two of you. Okay, here's one. Let me tell you with Tiffany, because you had asked her a question before we went. She said, my mother wanted to go to school and my father agreed. Aww. But then he wanted to go to school and told her he promised she would go after. But he never let her followed up her agreement after she sacrificed her dream for his. Aww. Caused major problems, obviously. Okay. We know.
I'm so sorry.
We know a couple where the wife put the husband through.
That's one of my dear friends.
Medical school. Worked while he went to medical school. Paid all the bills.
She actually dropped out of
college,
undergrad school.
So he could go.
Had 2 babies. She got the job. He went on to medical school, did the whole bit.
Yep.
Then he finished medical school and decided he didn't want her anymore and married another doctor.
So that's a big decision that was made without. But
there's a whole bunch of stuff going on there.
Yeah, there was a lot of
stuff.
Lack of communication.
They grew apart. There was just a variety of things. What's going on?
I was checking the other folks.
Okay, so we're getting to when your goals are different. What if you don't even know what each other's goals are?
That's a big part of it. You know, when we talk about goal setting, and we talk about the fact that there should be a number of types of goals that are set. We set goals. For those who don't know, every January, the first week in January, we have a big goal setting seminar that we do. We did it for many years at a hotel here in Washington, D.C. And then last year we did something that was unique and amazing. Not knowing we were going to be struck by a pandemic, we just found that there was a need for us to be able to do one virtually or digitally and record it, because we had people who wanted to join in from Australia and South Africa and all over the world. So we did it and made it available to everybody in a webcast. Well, we had no idea that the world was going to change a couple months later and that everything was going to go digitally. So now we have this great seminar, probably the best one we've ever done, and it is available for you and your family to go to the seminar. And if you go get it, you get your wife and husband can get it all one price for both of you. And if you go to williejolly.com/goals or just wjspeaks.com/goals, this is a great time for you to set goals this week. Now, usually this week we're in South Florida or Bahamas. That's typically our hangout spot. But we ain't none of them places this year.
Here's the thing.
And so we're setting our goal. Well, we're working on them anyway.
Of the year.
Yeah. You sent me a nice article about that.
I did?
Yes.
I send you so much stuff. Sometimes I wonder if you even read anything. But thank you, sweetheart. That shows you're paying attention. That makes me so excited. Okay, so here we go. The seminar, which is video along with the handout, there's a 15-page handout that I actually did because I'm a former teacher and totally anal and design things. So you got the handout that goes with it. Now we're going to quickly, thank you, sweetheart. So I'm going to quickly run through. I'm
working on something, folks. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I told you if you want something at night, you got to start working on it in the morning.
Think about
I've been working all day.
So this is what we did. We actually took our own goals seminar. And we did that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Okay. Our whole staff.
And what we worked on initially was our own individual goals, because we then have the business goals. So if we're not sure, if I'm not sure as to what I want individually, it's kind of hard for me to be motivated to deal with the chaos that comes with running this business. So there are different kinds of goals.
So imagine.
So a goal is a dream with a deadline. We just kind of. Your goal is your dream, and it's got a deadline to it, and it's got some specific steps that will help you reach it. Now, you had mentioned there are different kinds of goals.
Right.
Okay. You can get results goals, cause goals, health goals are the ones that we usually think of. The financial goals. What are our financial goals individually, and what are our goals together as a couple?
Right.
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 Your spiritual goals. Where do I want to be spiritually? What do I want to be involved in as it relates to ministry? That's a different kind of goal. What are the family goals? And that's slightly different now because our kids are all grown. Sure. But in terms of the goals when they were younger, where do we want them to go to school? Like, we have an elementary school up the street, but I drove for 45 minutes to take the kids to Christian school because I didn't want them to go to the school up the street. Now, I had been a school teacher, and part of my challenge was I didn't want to have to go to school and beat up on a teacher because they weren't teaching my child the way that I thought he should have been taught. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna spend the money and send him.
Now let me tell you, we did not agree initially on that. We did not agree because there was a big cost to this, and we were still a young couple in terms of
eating beans. And I don't eat spaghetti to this day.
We would eat beans and lasagna.
But we agreed because I was able to influence him. I was able to influence him as to the advantage of giving our kids a Christian education, and what were the sacrifices that I was willing to make.
She did influence me, and
that I would take the kids to school and bring them home.
She did. That's 45 minutes one way.
One way. Take the kids to school, come back to work, take my lunch hour at 3 o'clock, go back, pick them up, bring them back to work. That was mostly William because Latoya was a little older and she'd come home by herself. I was willing to make that sacrifice.
And so I didn't agree initially, but it was well worth it, and I did not fight it. So that's what we want to talk.
We had to talk it out.
We had to talk it through,
to make it happen.
And that's what we want to get to. A lot of times the decisions are made by one person in the couple, and then the other person is told to just get in line, go along with it. And that's not the way that we want you to be thinking about. In fact, we have a great piece in the book from our friend the Pembertons, and they talk about the fact when they were first married, Gladys and Ron Pemberton, they were first, what about disagreeing, and how do you handle it? Well, they talked about the fact that Ron had a real penchant for nice cars, and he had them a new car every year when he was single. Well, when he got married, one day he was riding by the car dealership and said, wow, look at that brand new car in the window. Woo, that's good. Let me just stop and look at it. And he stopped. He said, oh my goodness, Gladys will love this. She will love riding around in this. And he talked himself into buying that car without his wife's input. And so he bought the car, went home and said, look what I bought us. And she said, I'm pregnant. I've got our first baby. And you bought a car without even talking to me about it? He said, from that day to this, he has never made a decision without his wife's input.
And it wasn't intentional that he was making a decision, I'm just not going to include her. he didn't think about it.
He didn't think about it. And so what I loved was a quote that that Dan Gadsby at B. Smith, when I had him on my XM show, said, it's not about ego, it's about how we go. And we go together. We make decisions together. And that is how we've been able to do that. So not about ego, but about how we go. And he said, it's not, and Ron Pemberton said, it's not anymore about me, but we. We make the decisions. And
so now we understand
right.
that we have to know what we're thinking, what's important to us, and then we have to share that.
Yes.
So part of this whole goal setting thing is to actually write the goals down. Now, why is that important? Because the ideas can be in your head, but they don't start to materialize. What is the scripture that says? Write the vision, make it plain, that he that
reads it may run the race.
May run the race. So you have to make your dreams clear by writing them down. Now you have a category of how you look at goals, and we actually have that as a circle. So you got your give goal, your get goal, your do goal, your
B goal.
Your B goal.
So what does that mean? That means when I set my goals, and we set them personally, when I set my personal goals, my number one goal every year is what I want to give. What do I want to give? As you give, so shall it be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, overflowing. So I set a goal as to what I want to give this year to my church, to ministries, to just to be a blessing to others. So what's my give goal? I set a goal. Now, in order to give, I've got to get. I got to get my get goal. So what must I get? What must I generate this year?
How much money do you need to make?
How much money do I have to get?
Revenue.
Revenues, so I can give that goal that I have. And then my third goal, what must I do? What new books must I write? What speeches must I give?
Well, how many different jobs do you need to have?
I got a bunch of jobs. I got a bunch of jobs.
All right.
I got radio. I'm on Sirius XM. I'm on Radio 1 every day. I've got speaking. I've got books. I've got online programs, consulting. So first is my give goal, then my get goal, then what must I do? What kind of activity, what business, what kind of must do to generate, and then my B goal. What must I be in order to do that? Well, what skill sets must I work on, develop, increase? What must I become as a person?
So
how do I develop myself?
That if you're not listening, reading, and participating in activities that will cause you
You
to
won't
grow.
do it.
I know we're kind of running through. I think we're going to need to come back to this.
You won't be able to do it if you don't develop yourself. One of the things that changed my life and changed my wife's life was when we got into self-development. Okay, we got into self-development. Now, she's always been a reader, but she wasn't a reader of success materials, wealth building. So
more philosophical things.
Yeah.
And history.
She was a history buff. But once we got into self-help, we started reading Think and Grow Rich. By the way, we give away Think and Grow Rich. We give it away free at WJ. If you go to winwithwillie.com and sign up for my, you go to wjspeaks.com/gift. wjspeaks.com/gift.
So next time we should have all of these things so we can tell or put it in the chat.
Oh, you put it in chat, or we can write it on your little board over there. Oh, then,
well, I need a
I just thought about it. It'll be backwards. It'll be backwards to the Instagram people. They won't be able to see it. So it's better if we do it in chat. Somebody put it in the chat. wjspeaks.com/gift. If you go there, you can get the book, Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich.
Changed our lives, changed these lives.
I still have the tattered book that I'm reading through. No,
that's
Think and Grow Rich.
Over 30 years. That book is tattered.
And a couple of things that it talks about that speaks directly to the goals. It says a definite purpose. What is your reason for wanting to have? What's your dream? You say, well, what's your dream? Well, why do you want to have your dream? Just dream. Why is it important to you? If your why is not big enough and strong enough and not compelling enough, you're going to get tired. You're just going to stop doing it because life is hard.
Right. So we encourage people to have goals. And we want to help you. So go to wjspeaks.com/goals. If you want to gift, wjspeaks.com/gift. Now, we want you to understand that when I get that give goal in my mind, I put it all over the place. Here's what I want to give, and this is what I got to get. in order to give, and what I got to do, and what I got to become. I've got to take new skill sets. I've got to work on new skills. I've got to think about my books in Spanish. So I've got to learn some Spanish. ¿Cómo está? Bien, fantástico.
All right.
All right. So whatever it is, you got to develop.
The key thing is, what do you want?
Right.
Individually, what do you want? And I think a good home assignment would be individually. Let's start there. What do you want for 2021? You're like, I'm just glad 2020 is over with. Okay. What do you want in 2021?
Yes. Now, once you set that, what we've done over the years is I'll set my goals, she sets her goal, and then we share them and see where they intersect. And see if there's any issue with a disagreement.
Now, we actually have a goal sheet. Can I see that? Can I see actually the goal sheet?
Well, they can see.
Okay.
They can't see
We have
details.
a goal sheet. We have a Jolly Goal Master Worksheet. And on the sheet, for every goal, that one's blank. For every goal I have, what's the steps that are going to get me there? Now, here's a clean one. But here's the one. Here's how I write all over everything. You can see it's all written over. So it doesn't have to be neat. But you need to find quiet time where you can sit and write your goals. That's one of the things that the seminar does.
So we forgot to tell them one of
What?
our goals we hit this on Christmas Eve. We hit a goal on Christmas Eve. She said, what goal? We established our generational wealth plan.
That's right. We didn't talk about that. Oh my God.
We've been talking about it for a number of years.
Well, we have attempted to do it, and that was major. So we actually got our will and set up our trust. Christmas Eve, that was our present ourselves.
I signed our trust. It was a long process with legal papers and lawyers and witnesses.
It was wonderful.
But we got our trust set up, irrevocable. When one of us dies, it's revocable until one of us dies. But once one of us dies, it becomes irrevocable. And we're talking about generational wealth. Our goal is to set up a trust. And our goal was to set up a trust that would be able to be accessible to our lineage 100 years from now. 100 years from now, some kid will get our education. Yes.
So we set up the will, set up the trust. Now, next we will start funding the trust.
And we're going to.
That's a whole nother.
And listen, it's important, everybody. If you're over 18 years old, you must make a point in 2021 to get a will. Period. Get a will.
50% of the adult population, 18 and over, don't have a will.
More than that. It's more than 50%.
For people of color, it's 64%.
Okay, I knew it was more than that. And we got to get that done because people say, well, that's for rich folks. No, it's not. Oh, that's for wealthy. No, it's not. It's for you and your family to have some legacy.
You have something that you want to make sure that somebody else gets when you pass on.
Yes.
And goodness knows you will not be here
Let
forever.
me give you a shout out to who did our trust. Amy Griffin Law Firm. Griffin, Griffin Law Firm. They don't do anything but estates. Only. They don't do anything but estates. And they are, we've never met anybody quite like them.
This is our third iteration.
Yeah, and we've had great people do it. Each iteration, we've had a great lawyer.
It has taken us to another level. So we have learned something different.
We've had great folks, but she's an expert in only doing this. This is all she does. She has a LLM, which is a master's degree of law, above the law that, and a law firm, a law degree, and she only does that, and all her folks only do estate.
All women firm.
All women.
Oh.
So let's talk about
awesome.
And black women. They're African American women, and we're very impressed with what they were. I did an event with her, and came back and told my wife about her, and Dee, who is a pit bull about financial planners and everybody who says, I'm going to be a financial planner. They leave here after they meet with her because she eats them up and spits them out. But she met Amy and was like, wow, this woman's awesome. We're going to do it. And so, anyway, let's talk about, that was one of our goals that we set. So
okay, setting goals with your spouse. Why should you do this? You know, we didn't even talk. Well, we kind of.
Well, we first started about individual, and then we're going to do our goals for
right. So first, I would say for homework, again, what are your individual, what do you want? You can't talk about what you want as a couple if you don't really know who you are and where you want to go. And then there's the meeting of the minds and of the hearts as a couple.
Right.
Okay?
Yep. And let me say that over the years we've had to kind of, you know, give and take on stuff that she wanted. I said, no, I don't want that, and we give and take. Certain things about when we did our renovation. Man, what, 10 years ago, a little more, 10 years ago, we renovated the whole house and got the new kitchen, and we added an addition. If y'all can see here, when it's over, y'all come on over, all right? Come on over and we'll show you the addition. Anyway.
Stay on focus.
But here's what we learned, that we had to give and take. A little this, a little that. She wanted
like you wanted a beach house, and I didn't want a beach house.
That's right. I wanted a beach house. She did not want a beach house, but I talked her into it. We got a beach house, and we kept it for a while, and then we sold it.
I did all the
she did all the work,
all the rental, all that stuff, but it was sold for a profit, so
Yeah.
it was profitable. But I had to adjust my thinking because I knew it would be more responsibility.
Right.
But it was profitable.
It was wonderful, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't wonderful. Let us not lie. Okay.
You enjoyed sitting on the beach.
I did.
All right. So but those are the kind of things.
Okay, why should you set goals as a couple? Let's end here. Intentionally taking time to spend with your spouse to set goals gives you the opportunity to reconnect and intentionally take time with your spouse.
The word intentionally.
To talk to each other about what you're thinking.
Intentionally. We do it intentionally, and not by happenstance or chance. We intentionally sit down and we intentionally talk about our goals, and intentionally talk about what we're trying to achieve and what we want to do. We're intentional about it. And that's what we want people to get more intentional about their goals and dreams. That's why we're encouraging you to do this work. It's hard work. Setting goals is hard work.
Now, why is it hard work?
Because for two reasons. One, most people don't know how to do it. That's why we started the seminar. So people would, but more importantly, it's cognitive. You have to do the cognitive thinking. I'll give you an example. When Amy sat down with us and asked us where we wanted our assets to be in over 3 generations, it was hard to think out 3 generations, 4 generations, and of our children that
because you had to think, okay, what if this person has children, this person doesn't have children, what if this person doesn't have children,
and what happens if this person doesn't survive over the long haul? Who takes over?
Or what is the level of responsibility that you will require in order for them to have X assets?
I mean, it's a lot of cognitive. So goal setting is cognitive work. It's hard thinking through. And so that's why we have the coach to help push us. Amy pushed us, helped us think bigger, to think broader. And even though I'm a big thinker, I'm a big, broad thinker, it was still hard work. And in our goal setting, that's what I've been doing with the people who come to that, who get into that seminar, is I push them and show them piece by piece how to set bigger, bolder, greater, grander goals. So we do that together. We'll say, let's take the fact, she knows I want to get a place in Florida because I like warm weather. She couldn't care less. So she don't care, but that's what I want. So we got to work through that. What does that mean? What does it look like? How do we get there? What is the goal that we've got to, what do we do here first to get to that?
That will make it comfortable for me to say, okay, we can go to Florida.
Right.
So are there parameters like whatever you get in Florida doesn't mean you have to be able to pay for it outright? Do I want a mortgage note? No, I do not. So see, those are all things that we have to talk about.
We have to talk about. Or even things like cars. Over the years we've had to talk about cars and what we're gonna buy, and she had to talk me into my first luxury car. When I was traveling, and I had the Honda Accord, and you said, you're traveling too much. You need a.
Oh, that was doing road. Well, you were.
I was doing a lot of schools.
A lot of schools.
I was doing a lot of schools.
Right, and a little teeny weeny car up and down.
All over the eastern seaboard.
And that was a practical and a safety issue. That was a safety issue.
Well, I was the golden goose.
That's true.
I was the golden goose. The golden goose, you better take care of the golden goose. I was bringing in some money.
Eggs, no. The goose that lays the golden egg.
Whatever. The eggs were good. It worth money. So, all right. So our time is coming to an end of the second pass. Again, if you haven't gotten the book, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last, get it at jollymarriage.com. Get 2 copies. And we were on Joe Madison's show on Christmas Eve, and they re-aired a show that we did maybe a year or 2 ago, but it was a great interview.
We're going to have that up.
We're going to put that interview
that one's good.
on.
Joe Madison from who's serious.
If you follow us on social media, we'll have that up. It's hilarious and it's great
information.
And so go to jollymarriage.com, get 2 copies, one for you and one for your significant other. Read it together at the same time and then talk about each
Share
other.
with the people you care about.
Yep.
Okay.
And one person bought 10 copies. He said, I want them for all my relatives. So great. Then second, we're going to have a seminar for sure in 2021, a virtual seminar. And we've had this question asked a lot. People want time with Dee, women only, a day with Dee or afternoon with Dee. So she can tell you about...
It's amazing how you talk about all these things, but you don't plan it.
I don't plan it. You're going to plan it. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do that because they want to know when she starts talking about women's sex organs and what you got to use.
Honey, it's certainly more than that.
Well, it's more than that, but they all want to know about that.
That's because
how do you keep a younger man happy? And how do you keep
you're always interested in that.
I am always talking about sex. Gentlemen, are you with me? Are you with me? Brothers, are you with me? We're talking about sex up in here. So anyway.
Goal setting. Individually, write down what your goals are. So before you can get to your goals, you got to just sit and dream. Cup of tea, cup of coffee.
This is a great week to do it too.
Yeah.
Great week to do it because most people...
Because we're not doing resolutions. Woo-hoo!
No resolutions. No resolutions. They don't work there. But you make them on the 1st of January and by the 15th you've forgotten them and by the end of the month they're gone.
It's not specific and you don't set a date when it's completed.
Right.
So let us dream big and then set specific tasks that you will accomplish.
Right.
And then they're little teeny weeny steps to get there.
So our time is up. We will see you next year.
Wow.
Next year. We'll see you next year. Happy New Year. We encourage you to stay safe. Be wise. This is not the year.
I think it had to.
We had to.
I don't know where it went.
I don't know either.
Oh, okay.
But we encourage you to stay safe, stay wise, and stay healthy. And get through this.
Distance, wash your hands, and wear the mask over your mouth and nose, please.
She got an issue. We went to the store the other day. She said, "Look at that boy. He don't have."
I did not point.
She didn't
I just
point,
said I started hyperventilating because we went out to get. I don't even want. It's too traumatizing.
So she said we got to. She said we got to go.
I cannot.
I can't go.
No,
we're going out of here. So look, Happy New Year. As I've been telling people when they've been saying Happy New Year, I say thank you. But what I really want to say is I hope you have a better 2021 than you had in 2020.
Absolutely.
Just a better 2021. Well, God bless you all. This is Dr. Willie Jolley.
And this is Dee Taylor-Jolley.
And we want to say to you, God bless you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Have a better 2021. And we are out till next year. Jolley out.
Jolley out.
God bless you. Bye.